Dear students of Standard 8, this is your science class. We are talking about chemistry from chapter 6 of your science book. Dear students, last class we had learned about the stability of atom, and while gaining stability, an atom becomes ion, either positively charged ion or negatively charged ion. Today in this class we will learn in details about ion. Ion means anion, that is negatively charged ion, or cation, that is positively charged ion. So at first we have to know what is ion. The charged atoms, positively or negatively, are called ions. Now dear students, already you know why an atoms become charged. When the number of electron is more or less than the number of proton of an atom, then the atom becomes charged. So when the number of electron is more or less than the proton, then an atom becomes charged. Now, when electron is released by an atom, then the number of electron becomes less than the proton and the atom becomes positively charged. It is called cation. Dear students, number of electron becomes less or more, but how? When an atom releases electron, then the number of electron becomes less than the proton and then the atom becomes positively charged or cation. So what is cation? The positive charged atoms are called cations. The positive charged atoms are called cations. And already you know the atoms which release electron, that means which atoms release electron? The atoms that have 1, 2 or 3 electrons on their outermost shell, they release the electron. That means metal releases electrons because metals have 1, 2 or 3 electrons on their outermost shell. So all metals become cation after releasing electrons. Some example of cations are sodium ion, magnesium ion, but look, it is dipositive ion because the outermost shell of magnesium has 2 electrons. So after releasing 2 electrons, magnesium gain stability. So after releasing 2 electrons, it has 2 electrons less than the proton. That means it has 2 more positive charge in its center. So magnesium becomes Mg2 plus, dipositively charged. In this way, aluminium 3 plus, because aluminium has 3 electrons on its outermost shell. So after releasing 3 electrons, aluminium become cation Al3 plus, tripositive charge, etc. And you know the atoms which have 5, 6 or 7 electrons on their last shell, they want to do what? They accept electron, and after accepting electron, their number of electron becomes more than the number of proton, so they become negatively charged. The atoms which accept 1 electron, it will become mononegative charge. The atoms which will accept 2 electrons, they will become dinegatively charged, and the atoms which will accept 3 electrons, they will become trinegatively charged. So when electron is added in an atom, then the number of electron becomes more than the number of proton and the atom becomes negatively charged. It is called anion. So what is anion? The negative charged atoms are called anion. For example, O2 minus, that means oxygen, it has 6 electrons on its outermost shell, so it will accept 2 electrons for gaining stability, so it will become dinegatively charged O2 minus. Fluorine and chlorine, they have they have 7 electrons on their outermost shell, so they will accept 1 electron each and they will become mono-negatively charged. Mono means 1, di means 2, tri means 3. So these are the examples of anion. Now formation of ion. Look, a neutral atom. When the atom lose electron, loss of electron will make cation, because after losing electron it has more proton than electron, and after gaining electron it has more electron than proton, so it will become anion. So neutral atom after releasing electron will become cation, and after accepting electron it will become anion. And we know that metal will form cation because metal always releases electron. So metal minus electron, that means metal releases electron and it will form metal plus, that means cation. In the same way, non-metal, it will always accept electron. So non-metal plus electron, that means electron is added with non-metal, and non-metal will form non-metal minus, that means anion. Now formation of cation. Look, these are the metals. Lithium, its electronic configuration 2,1, that means it has 1 electron on its outermost shell. Sodium 281, it has also 1 electron. Magnesium 282, aluminium 283, potassium 2881, calcium 2882. All they have 1, 2 or 3 electrons on their outermost shell. So they will release the outermost shell's electron, and after releasing electron they all will become positively charged ion or cation. Every atom wants to get 8 electrons on its last shell. Atoms having 8 electrons are chemically stable. The atoms having 1, 2 or 3 electrons on their last shell are metal. Already you know this. They want to release the electrons from their last shell and also want to get the electronic configuration of their nearest inert gas. In last class, we had learned this. Why atoms or why metals release electron? Because after releasing electrons, metals will get the electronic configuration of their nearest inert gas. After releasing electron, the atoms become stable, but after releasing electron, the number of electron becomes less than its proton number, and the atom does not remain as a neutral atom. It becomes a positively charged ion or cation. Now, dear student, you can write the formation of any ion from there. Formation of lithium ion, formation of sodium ion, formation of magnesium ion, any cation formation you can write from there. Okay, but I will show you some. At first, formation of sodium ion. That is, the electronic configuration of sodium is 281. So it is a metal, and after releasing 1 electron, it will get the electronic configuration of its nearest inert gas, neon. But after releasing 1 electron, the atom has 1 electron less than its proton, and it becomes a positively charged ion or cation. Look, this is sodium. When it releases its last shell electron, then it gains stability, but now it becomes positively charged ion or sodium ion or cation. That means sodium, it releases how many electron? 1 electron. And after releasing 1 electron, it will become mono-positively charged ion, sodium ion or cation. Sodium, it has 11 protons, 11 electrons. That means 0 charge, 11 proton, 11 electron, charge is 0. But sodium ion, when 1 electron is released from air, then it has 11 proton in its center, but it has now 10 electrons. So its charge is +1 because it has 1 proton more than its electron. So sodium atom, it is neutral charge, but sodium ion, it is monopositively charged. In the same way, magnesium ion, the electronic configuration of magnesium is 282, so it wants to release 2 electrons from its last shell, and after releasing 2 electrons, it will also get the electronic configuration of neon. But after releasing 2 electrons from its last shell, it has 2 electrons less than its proton, and it becomes a dipositively charged ion or cation. Look, magnesium, it has 12 protons, 12 electrons, so total charge, it is 0. But when it will release 2 electrons, then now it has 12 protons, but electrons are 10. So total charge is now 2+. That means magnesium, when 2 electrons are released from magnesium, then it will become magnesium +2 or 2+. You can write any one, Mg +2 or Mg 2+, both are correct. Now, formation of anion. Anion, that means number of electron is more than the number of proton. Non-metals will form anion. Non-metals, that means nitrogen, the electronic configuration of nitrogen is 2,5. It needs 3 electrons to gain stability. Oxygen 2,6, it needs also 2 electrons to gain stability. Fluorine 2,7, it also needs 1 electron. Phosphorus, it needs 3 electrons. Sulfur needs 2 electrons, and chlorine needs 1 electron to gain stability. But after accepting electron, after gaining stability, the number of electron becomes more than the number of proton. So non-metals make anion because it has more electron than proton. It will become negatively charged and it will become anion. Every atom wants to get 8 electrons on its last shell. Writing is same. All the writing is same, just the atoms which you will write the formation of cation or anion, just you will use the atom and its electronic configuration, but overall writing is same. Atoms having 8 electrons are chemically stable. The atoms having 5, 6 or 7 electrons on their last shell are non-metal. They want to accept the required number of electrons on their last shell and also want to get the electronic configuration of their nearest inert gas. After accepting electron, the atoms become stable, but after accepting electron, the number of electron becomes more than its proton number, and the atom does not remain as a neutral atom. It becomes a negatively charged ion or anion. From any of the metal, you can write the formation of anion. I will show here the formation of chlorine ion. The electronic configuration of chlorine is 287. So if it accepts 1 electron on its last shell, it will gain the electronic configuration of its nearest inert gas, argon. But after accepting 1 electron, it has 1 electron more than its proton, so it will become mononegatively charged ion or anion. Look, here chlorine, it has 17 proton and 17 electron, but after accepting electron, it has 17 proton and 18 electron. So now it is Cl minus ion. Chlorine, when it accepts 1 electron, it will become Cl minus. In the same way, look here, 17 proton and 17 electron, overall charge is 0, but here 17 proton but 18 electron, that means it has 1 electron more and its charge is 1 minus. Now formation of oxygen ion. Look, the electronic configuration of oxygen is 2,6. So it needs 2 electrons to gain stability. But after accepting 2 electrons, it will get the electronic configuration of its nearest inert gas neon and it will gain stability, but it has 2 electrons more than its proton, so it will become di-negatively charged ion or anion, because after accepting electrons it has 8 protons but 10 electrons, so it has 2 electrons more, it will become di-negatively charged. Oxygen plus 2 electron, oxygen minus 2. If a nonmetal accepts 3 electrons, then it will become minus 3. So dear students, today up to this, you will pick up all these in your CW copy, and I hope you can write formation of any ion, sodium ion, potassium ion, magnesium ion, calcium ion, oxygen ion, nitrogen ion, chlorine ion, fluorine ion, any ion you can write because the theme is same. So dear students, thank you everyone. Goodbye to all.